I spent my weekend in my uncle's house, sleeping over with my cousin David and two of our friends. We had a lot of fun, playing video games, watching movies. We were watching our last movie, and before we began my cousin asked if we want some snacks. We all said yes. He went to the kitchen and said, "There are no snacks anymore," and I said I can get them from the market, and I did. I went outside, and by the way, my uncle's house in the middle of the woods with some other houses. It's actually an amazing place. It was rainy, so I had to wear the jacket. I walked on the street with my hoodie's hat on, towards the market. It was chilly in the rain. I was just relaxing, before something in my gut told me that I am followed. You know that feeling that you feel someone is watching you? Yeah, I felt it. I turned around and stared at the abandoned house. In the corner in my eyes I saw a tall figure peeking behind the tree, and once I looked at it, it's just peeked back behind the tree, slowly. I just walked faster to the market and made it back to the house, and when I came back, they asked why I was trying to open the front seat of his car. I said in confusion I wasn't even in the garage. I just went to the market and told them what happened. They looked confused as we were home alone, and my cousin went to lock all the windows and the entrance door. We watched the movie and slept, listening to rain sound. It was amazing. We woke up the other day. Then our families came and we had the lunch together. Then we decided to play some hide and seek, and we actually did, but I wasn't doing it like the other games. I wanted to make a little bit harder on them to find me. So I went to the abandoned house. I wasn't so scared as we had been there a lot of times. I made it there and hide in a huge closet. It was the only thing in the house. I had been in there in a long time, so I played some games on my phone. Fast forward, all I remember is waking up, and I still in the closet. I thought that I slept just for a minute. I peeked from the closet looking at the window, and it was in the night. I checked my phone and it was 1 p.m. When I was about to get out, I heard some giggling. I never heard that voice before. My heart was racing, and the giggling stopped, and his breathing sound was so close to the closet. My heart dropped as it was getting closer and closer, and I immediately opened the closet door and jumped out, punching him on the ground, and I ran the fastest run I ever had. I can hear footsteps rushing behind me, and from the sound of it, it was more than one person. I made it out from the house, rushing back to my uncle's house, finding the cops out and all the family were out. I ran to my parents in tears, trying to catch my breath, and told them what just happened. The cops rushed to the house, finding nothing, except my phone was on the ground, as I dropped it while running. The accident reported. After 1 week after the accident, my cousin told something I wish I didn't heard. When he was searching for me, he went to the house, but stopped when saw a man standing on the window waving for him to get it. He ran back, but he didn't tell anyone what happened. He thought that I wasn't there. He just ran back and told everyone that he couldn't find me. I was shocked and terrified, imagining that what he would do to me if I didn't run out of the closet. This story still haunted me to this day. My name is Josh, 19 years old. I am a student in New Jersey University. I used to live there alone, while my family lives in Kansas. I had a holiday for 2 months so I can visit my family. I prepared myself for the long time drive. It was winter at the time. It was a snowy and foggy road. I started the road with the window open and enjoying the nice view, the river, and the deers on the sides of the street. For the first 2 hours, it was amazing. But then everything went upside down, as the road was abandoned. The snow was dressing up the road. It's hard for my car to drive in. I stepped out of the car and looked around. There was no single car there. No one takes the road. I was confused about what the hell I'm going to do now. There was no car passing. It's freezing out there, and I was too far away from the town. I had no food except my burger that I had bought from the last station. I thought hard and I took my phone searching for any near station. And thankfully I found a rest spot where the people usually stop while they are traveling, but there was no way that my small car will drive on that snow. So I made my mistake and took all of my stuff and started walking for the 2 miles heading to the rest spot. It took me an hour walking in the snow. I was freezing there. I barely found the place. It was like a house, and there were 2 or 3 cars out there. I entered the glass door, and it was the best feeling ever. It was warm in there. There was 3 sofas there, and a coffee machine and bathrooms. And there was an old man and his wife sitting on one of the sofas, and a middle-aged man and 2 other boys. Let's say they were around the 20s. So I walked in and greeted by them. I introduced myself and they did too. I sat on one of the sofas and walked to the bathrooms. To be honest, it was an amazing house. I came back and sat down and started browsing my phone and told my parents the situation and I might be late. I started a conversation with one of the boys. He seems really cool guy. We had a conversation about how we can get out of there. He came with the idea in the morning might the storm will stop and he can get me a drive to the town with his truck, and I can get my car back in a week. I said it really cool idea and thanked him for the help. We woke up the next morning and prepared ourselves for the ride. I stepped in his truck and closed the door behind myself. Something in my gut told me you are doing a mistake by going to a stranger truck in the middle of nowhere, but I just let it go. We entered the road. I felt uncomfortable in his truck the first hour, as the back seat was covered, so when you look back you can't see anything there. At that moment red flags running in my head. But when I looked at the map, I let it go, because we will arrive in approximately 1.5. I tried to keep myself awake as I was so tired, but I couldn't. I looked at the guy, everything was foggy now. I began to sleep, but I tried hard to keep myself awake. When I looked at him, he just gave me a smile and said sweet dreams. At this moment, I knew there is something wrong with this guy. All I remember waking on a giggling sound. It was going louder and louder as I was waking up. I opened my eyes, looked around. I was in a bed, in a big room, with 2 beds in the room. And the guy who took me was on my right sitting on a chair. I told him what the hell. He gave me a smile and walked slowly out. I looked at the beds, and there were 2 men sleeping there, and once I called hey. Someone woke up in confusion and said, where the hell I am? I told him I don't know either. We had a long conversation. His name is Jack. He seems a cool guy. We waited until the other man woke up and explained the situation. The other man is in 19, and his name is John. He introduced himself, and we talked about how we ended up here. To be honest, their stories were scarier than me. We all learned to not trust any stranger. We talked till the night and went to sleep. In the morning, we woke up with some food on our table. We looked at each other in shock, and we ate it. Nothing else we could do. We were so hungry. After we finished, I said, wait, if there was food when we woke up, that means there's some entered while we were asleep. We decided to attack him the other night. We can beat him. I was in 18 and Jack was in 20. So we can beat anyone. The other night we waited a long time and no one came. In the morning there was no food. We all were tired. I felt terrible. The next night, we did the same thing. We tried so hard to keep ourselves awake, and finally, the doorbell moved, and someone entered with some food. We took the chance and knocked him on the ground unconscious, and walked slowly out the room. There was just a hallway leading to a door, and walked towards the door. I opened the small window that was behind the door. I took a look. We were extremely in the middle of nowhere. All I can see is snow, nothing else. Before we can get out of there, we noticed a door was on our left. We peeked slowly and saw a room with a TV turned on, with a humming sound, and the man who abducted us was there, sleeping on the sofa. We just wanted to get out of there. So we didn't care. We tried to open the door and it was locked. I felt so angry and decided to break the door, but before we kick it, Zach said, "Wait." I gave him a look and he said if we kicked it he will wake up and have a gun in front of him, and Zach saw where the key's at. He said he couldn't get it. He walked in there avoiding every creak sound. He made it there and took the keys and the gun. He came back and unlocked the door. We went out and ran out in the snow. There was a car, and Zach has a bunch of keys. It should be one of them. We made it to the car, and it unlocked by the keys that Zach took. We entered and tried to turn it on. It didn't work. Zach said in a loud sound, "Oh my God." We all looked at the door that we just exited. There was the man standing there staring at us with a shotgun in his hand.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.